Welcome to Dave C. Straight from the Pit. On today's show, we're going to talk about the 1989 Alley Viper and the 2021 Alley Viper. This should be a really fun video to do today. The Alley Viper was one of my favorites as a kid, and I've kind of been putting off this review, but now that we're here, I'm kind of excited about it. So here's a 1989 card back, which depicted all of the G.I. Joes and Cobras available that year. And you can see in the top left up there, there is the 1989 Alley Viper. And he had quite striking card art. And I remember seeing him in the store back then, and I thought he was great. The contrast in the colors with the bright orange and the blue really screamed modern Cobra. And the fact that he was an urban assault specialist kind of added to the excitement for me. And I thought first we could just read his file card. Usually I save that till the end of videos. But yeah, in this one, we'll just read his 1989 file card first. His file card reads as follows. Codename, Alley Viper. Cobra Urban Assault Trooper. The Alley Vipers are the Cobra equivalent of a police SWAT unit or British SAS, Special Air Service. They form the spearhead of Cobra's inner-city invasion forces. This elite contingent of marauders are true masters of brutality, possessing a style of ruthlessness not present in other Cobra soldiers. Recruited from Cobra's most diabolical combat divisions, Alley Vipers use various forms of treachery to achieve their objectives. In order to graduate from their training program, they are required to survive a full burst of machine gun fire across their frontal body armor, execute a 30-foot jump onto concrete with full combat load, and run down a 100-meter gas-filled corridor without a gas mask. This year in particular, I remember there were two Cobra soldiers that I wanted, and one of them was the Alley Viper, and I got it, and the other one was actually the card that this one is, and it's the Night Viper. And I couldn't find him on the pegs, and I was really disappointed about that because he was just a really interesting figure. But I was able to get the Alley Viper, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So yeah, back in '89, I remember talking to my cousin about him, and my cousin was like, "Oh man, he's stupid. Like his colors are crazy, like way too bright," and he was kind of making fun of him. And I remember thinking, "No, look, this guy's awesome. Like he has all the tactical street stuff, like to battle the Joes in the streets, and he's like a urban assault trooper." And I just really liked how his helmet could flip down for certain combat situations. And the color contrast, like I mentioned earlier, was a little bit crazy, but at the same time, I thought it kind of was fitting for maybe like a terrorist group walking through the streets of a major city like New York or something, and kind of looked intimidating. And I really, really liked his uniform with the Cobra logo on his arm and on the forehead. And I liked his knife, his quick draw knife on his chest, and also on his wrist. I remember thinking that was really easy access for hand-to-hand combat. And he came with the awesome shield that a lot of urban assault specialists use. SWAT specialists today need that for riot control. And usually they're clear, you can see through them. But one cool aspect of this one is that it has a porthole, and you could actually stick the machine gun up on the side. And the porthole is obviously to see through. And his backpack came with a bunch of grenades on the back, and nice grappling hook weapon to be able to climb walls and stuff. And his machine gun always reminded me of the Heckler & Koch MP5, which was the same gun that John McClane used in Die Hard from 1988 classic film. I mean, it looks a little bit like it. That's just always what I kind of imagined it being. It's obviously not, you know, not it, because it has a clip, the magazine coming out the back. And yeah, has a kind of a weird scope on the top. For a submachine gun, they usually don't have those, but yeah, it reminded me of that 80s 9mm famous submachine gun in so many movies from back then. And then, of course, this past year, we got a classified version of the Alley Viper. And here he is here. And the contrast of colors are just like the 3 3/4 inch figure. And I was really impressed with the fact that they kept it looking like the original. And a big reason why I didn't really get into classifieds was because they kind of went the other way, where they sort of changed things. But with this guy, he looks like the 89 guy. So I had to pick him up, and actually got two. Here's another one still in the package. But yeah, he comes with the same machine gun. And on his chest, he has the quick draw knife, just like the old guy did. The shield is just stunning. He's got a pistol on his side. And he came with another weapon that he didn't come with in 1989, which is a variant of a AR-15. And the same type backpack. I can put the backpacks together and we can compare them. There's the 89 one and the 2021 version. So pretty much the same. So I was really happy about that. He first appeared in G.I.Joe Marvel, number 92, which I believe was a November 1989 issue. And there it is down there, November 1989. And it was called Thunderclap, the issue, based on the vehicle that came out that year, as shown on the cover. And I specifically remember getting this book. And I know I'm weird, I remember this stuff, but I remember getting this book when I was at the dentist back then. My mom took me to the dentist, and I got this comic at a convenience store around the corner there. And here's the first panel that the Alley Viper appears in. And oddly enough, it was Voltar, who was an Iron Grenadiers general, who introduced him. So he was doing a collaboration mission with Cobra, obviously. And I haven't read this issue in a long time, so maybe I got that wrong, but it seems to me like he's doing some work with Cobra, or he's either disguising his own guys as Cobras. But nonetheless, there's an Alley Viper there, and that's the first panel he's in. And there he is there flying a Fang 2 helicopter. And there they are there, fighting side by side with an Iron Grenadier soldier, Annihilator, I believe his name was, and a Frag Viper. But yeah, as a kid, I always pictured these guys kind of going through the streets and fighting Shockwave, who was G.I. Joe's spot specialist. And maybe Shockwave would be with some other police officers. And there'd be like a whole battalion of these alley vipers. And, well, maybe not battalion, but you know what I mean, a pretty big sized army. And they would just be going through the streets there. And before I end this video, I'd just like to mention some of the happenings that have been going on in the G.I. Joe community as far as my dealings are concerned. Gojitron, his name is, met Larry Hama yesterday. And I think that's totally awesome. Here's a photo of that. And I haven't got to meet Larry yet in person. Shane and I have wrote letters to him, and he's written back. And we've emailed him as well. But yeah, so that's great, Goji, that you met him. And I'm really happy that you got that opportunity. Joe Hunter 73 on Instagram, who's Wes, he had a birthday last week. And he had a really good birthday. He got some G.I. Joe stuff. So happy birthday, Wes. And also on Instagram, Codename Steve has been posting some really, really cool G.I. Joe content as far as photos go. So you might want to check that out. And on another note, Joseph Von Esch fixed up a Cobra soldier, or rather a Cobra officer. And here's a photo of it here. And he cleaned them all up, and he got a new silver logo for the chest of the Cobra officer. And I think that's totally awesome. And he also went through all his old Rattler parts. And here's some photos here. So he had some extra time there, and he went through all his old parts. And he told me that he really gets some zen looking at all the old G.I. Joe parts for the vehicles. And I know the Cobra Rattler is one of his favorites in particular. So he's also known in the community for fixing up Joe stuff, whereas other people might just disregard it and call it garbage. But he takes vintage G.I. Joe stuff and repairs it. So here's a photo of a canopy for the Rattler that he's repairing. And he told me that using a clear styrene, sprue, and UV resin, he figured out a way to build a stronger hinge for these Rattler canopies. Thanks for showing me that, Joe. I really appreciate it. And thanks everybody again for watching another episode of Dave C. Straight from the Pit. We'll catch you next time.